Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. I stayed with my fiancé, and it bit me in the butt. Original post. I 28 male have been with my now fiancé 29 female for 11 years. We were high school sweethearts. As of late, all my fiancé wants to do is go to bars and drink with her new friends and co-workers, and it's really starting to bother me. For some context, as I mentioned above, we've been together for 11 years. I was a football player in high school, so I have had a more athletic build. She was more of a loser in high school, not trying to be harsh, just being honest, so she was more lonely. With me being an ex-football player and going to college, I got invited to parties and gatherings constantly. She's always been unsure of herself, so she really didn't want me to go to those gatherings. She insisted that I was going to find someone better than her there, so I shouldn't go. I'm more of a homebody anyway, so I didn't mind not going. Don't get me wrong, I would have liked to attend some of the gatherings, but I would rather comfort her more by not going. Fast forward the last 2 years, and she just started her new RN nursing job. We both have really good jobs and make good money. She started getting invites to hang out with friends after work. I'm not a jealous guy, so I don't care. We both work overnight, so she would go to breakfast with her co-workers in the mornings after work. Again, I'm not worried about it, but the breakfast in the morning slowly progressed to where now she's going bar hopping with her friends at night and not getting home until 3 in the morning. She lost some weight in that time, so I attributed it to being more confident. We're saving for a house, planning on having kids soon, and I just proposed in December and she wanted to be married by Feb 2023. With all that I mind, I've been grinding my butt to save extra money, picking up overtime shifts when I can, and making lifestyle sacrifices. One day she asked me if she can go to a bar with her co-workers for his or her birthday. Mind you, she had already been out 3 different times for co-workers' birthdays this month. So I told her I didn't think it was a good idea and she should give it a little break. She got upset with me, telling me I'm not letting her live her life the way she wants to live her life. She also said since I would, then it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I was originally scheduled off for that day, but I picked up an overtime shift. I told her that, and she got upset. Now we're broken up and trying to figure it all out. She says that I shouldn't hold her not allowing me to go places over her head. I told her that I'm not trying to hold it overhead, but we have life goals that require something different than just going out all night and having a good time. I told her I'm all for her going out, but can she do it in moderation? Maybe instead of going out with friends 4 times in 1 month, maybe she could go with them 2 times in 1 month and pick up 2 overtime shifts. She said she doesn't want to do overtime on her days off like I do. She now saying I'm too demanding. Like if she wants to get tattoos all over her body, I should allow that. If she wants to smoke weed and party, I should allow that. I told her I'm not trying to stop her from doing what she wants to do. I just won't be here standing by until she's ready to get this family life back on the road. Am I wrong here? I'm losing my mind. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. You two are totally at different stages of life right now. She's found herself and wants to go out and explore and have fun. She's not ready to settle down and have a family. You on the other hand are. People grow at different paces. It's probably best you two not get married because otherwise there could be some strong resentment. Time apart may help her see what she really wants, but that may not be home life. You shouldn't compromise on what you want either. Starting over sucks, but being miserable and unhappy is far worse. That sounds reasonable. She wants to have a cake and eat it too. This happened to me, like almost exactly. Red flags everywhere, and I mean like really real ones. Like me having 3 jobs to keep up with his old family money lifestyle, while he goes to raunchy bars type red flags. Married the guy like a goddamn idiot. He got my prime years. We had 2 beautiful children together that haven't had the best childhoods because we're freaking idiots and don't get along. He ended up leaving me for a good friend of mine. Now I look back and I think to myself, you moron. Don't be like me. I also didn't go to college to be with him. Obvious major insecurities and psychological issues which led to my choices. I'm currently wrestling with this. We grew apart years ago, was pretty sure it was gonna end the summer of 2019, but I got pregnant. We stayed together for the child. More his decision than mine as I was ready to leave, but my childhood made me go all in. Now, it's been 1 year since we started working on the relationship. I have been astonished, depressed, and embarrassed for how far we took things, let things go, and how stubborn we both were. We should have gone our separate ways, but we didn't, and this path is extremely difficult and not what I wanted for my life per se. I love our child and I am lucky, but not happy. I can finally smile for the first time in years barely this week, and that is because of the time I finally put back into myself. I should have been strong enough to see and act on us growing into 2 different places, but I was tired of being alone and didn't want to throw in the towel too soon. Now, I am the loneliest I have ever been in a life I wish I could be happy with. You grew apart, dude. The only thing I see wrong in this relationship is that allowing the other to do something is a thing. You are deciding for different things on life right now. What can you do? What can anyone do? We all should find what makes us happy and follow that path. It just seems like your path is not together with hers anymore. It sucks, that's it. I agree that they grew apart, but I also think that he is being a little too much asking her not to go out 4 times a month with her friends or co-workers. That just seems like a non-issue to me. I'd totally get it if it was 2 to 3 times a week, but averaging once a week seems totally fine to me. If we're playing that game, she asked for too much since she wanted the commitment, and is now backing off. It isn't about the number of times that's the issue, it's the finance they both need to save for the future, and she's falling back on it. So, it's either neither's fault or both had some part in this. Honestly, to me it sounded like when she got her new job and new friends, she started to look for a new boyfriend too. I've never known a woman in a committed relationship who went partying that often and wasn't cheating. Now for the first update. Thank you for all the replies. Most comments seem to agree. For the few that say why is 4 times too much per month? It's not about the times per se. It's more about me committing to furthering our future, while she only wants to go out and have fun. If she was going out on average 8 times per month, I would ask her to go out 4 and pick up 4 overtime shifts. I know she's a nurse and we both have trying tough jobs, but drinking 2 to 4 times per week and bar hopping isn't the answer. I also forgot to mention that she's the one who was asking for more of a commitment prior to her starting her new job. She told me that we had been together too long for her not to at least have a ring on her finger or a child. She wanted all this first. When we were 22 to 25 years old, she would want me to have a child with her. I was uncomfortable at the time because I wanted to be settled in my career first. I grew up with a tougher lifestyle, so I wanted to make sure I could take care of my children by myself comfortably if it had come to that. So, I've decided to break up with her and get my ring back, which I spent over 15 grand for. Now she's literally on her knees begging, pleading, and asking for forgiveness. I told her that I'm over this relationship, and now all she's doing is crying. Sucks it's had to come to this for her to truly understand how I was feeling, but it is what it is. Thank you everyone for the advice. I'll see what happens from here. I see a lot of people saying that I'm controlling. I'm not one to look past criticism, but I have to say I disagree. When she says I'm not allowing her to do stuff, should have been worded better. What I mean by that is she wants to seemingly be tatted from head to toe. She wants to be out trying molly, weed, mushrooms, etc. because that's what her friends are doing. I'm sorry, I would rather not have a girlfriend or fiancé with tattoo everywhere and does hardcore substances. In addition to that, she already has 3 big tattoos on her person now, from the top of her shoulder to her elbow type tats. I like what I like, and nothing can change that. When I say allow, what I'm actually saying is, she can do whatever she wants to do. However, if I don't like what she does, I have every right to leave, right? Am I wrong for not wanting a wife that's tattooed from head to toe and does mushrooms? As for the people advising I should just talk to her more, this same attitude has been going on for 7 months now. I talked to her when I first began to notice the change, but nothing has changed. Today was my breaking point. I hope I addressed most concerns. Lastly, for the people saying 4 times a month is not that much, I'm not saying 4 times is too much. I'm simply saying could she at least implement some overtime in there somewhere. That way, she could live her best life, while also showing me that she's still working towards our life goals. Last thing is, some of you guys are pricks lol. I'm literally asking for advice. There's no need to be harsh to either me or her. Just give advice. That would be greatly appreciated. Now for the update 10 months later. Hello guys, back at it again. So, in my last post, I was talking about how my fiancé was starting to go out with her friends more. I don't really want to rewrite the entire post, so hopefully you can see it. Long story short, I found out she was cheating on me today. The crazy thing is, I was truly getting ready to leave her around the time of my last post. I was done, but she got pregnant. I stayed with her trying to make it work, and she was cheating the entire time. Basically, I've been working overtime a lot because she doesn't get paid for her baby bonding time. Since she doesn't get paid, I picked up the slack and worked. We have Ring cameras throughout the house that consistently pick up motion. While I was at work, I repeatedly would get a notification of motion detected. It's not uncommon for her to be up this late, due to us having a newborn and the baby consistently being hungry. I go and check the camera, and I hear she's on the phone. On the camera it sounds like she's on the phone with a guy. I'm thinking to myself, that's strange, let me call her and see who she's on the phone with. She says, oh, I was on the phone with my friend. The friend she was referring to is a female. I tell her to go watch the video because it sounds like she's on the phone with a guy. She says no, she wasn't on the phone with a guy. She was listening to a video of a guy talking while talking to her friend. At this point, I'm on high alert. I'm trying to figure out how to catch her lie blatantly because she's adamant that it was the video of a guy talking that I was hearing. So, here's what I do. I didn't want to tell her to send me the contact of her friend, because her friend would obviously lie for her, and she would delete the guy's number. Spoiler alert, she had the guy's number under her friend's number. So I FaceTime her. I have her screen share with me. I then have her go to her friend's contact, and said it's strange, why is there 2 numbers listed? She says oh her friend has 2 phones so she had both number. I say okay. I call the first number on my work phone, and a guy picks up the phone. Shaking my head. She finally admitted to talking to the guy for a year, but she claims she hadn't cheated with him. She started talking to him when we were going through a rough patch in our relationship. I've always told her that if she wanted to be with someone else, she could just leave. I'm not a cry for you type of guy, and I would respect her a lot more for just being honest about her wanting to be with someone else. It sucks. I've been with this girl for 11 going on 12 years as high school sweethearts. I'm not a bad-looking guy, and I've turned down a lot of women to be faithful to her. She literally wasted a ton of my life that I could never get back. We just had a kid and bought a house together. Now all of that is over with. So I guess the moral of this story is don't ignore the signs of cheating. Her phone would always be on Do Not Disturb. She suddenly wanted to be out with her friends. She would do other suspicious things that I just can't think of right now. I will be getting a paternity test on the child to see if he's mine. Just heartbroken and torn. I'm also not the kill myself type, so don't worry, lol. Just need some time to get over the heartbreak. Thanks for reading. Edit. To add to the heartbreak, I learned that the guy she cheated on me with is 37-year-old with 5 kids. For comparison, I'm 29 with no kids, except the one I might share with her. I make $150K a year with a really stable job. She's also 29, he's a hospital janitor. Can't make this crap up, dude. She cheated on me with him after knowing him for 1 month. She hooked up with him and went down on him in his car on their lunch break. You can't make this stuff up. About time someone on Reddit understands you don't have to stay in failed relationships. Good luck, mate. Though, my wife cheated on me with both my brothers and the majority of my close friends. How can I make things right? You don't, big man, you leave. Why did he stay with her after that first post? Even without the cheating coming to light, they had simply grown apart to the point of incompatibility. He'd matured and was trying to build a life for them, or at least for himself, whereas all she cared about was the next good time. He said he stayed because she got pregnant, but unless it caused her to rethink and settle down, which it clearly did not, then I can't see any reason to stick around. Life tip: if you are in a relationship and the relationship itself is making you unhappy, get out of it. Kid or no kid. Sunk cost fallacy. I've seen so many miserable relationships because of this. She got pregnant because they were still doing it even though he was unhappy and was eventually planning on breaking up with her. Life tip: don't sleep with people you're questioning your relationship with. I have several guy friends who I stated they were trapped by various relationships and were desperate to get out, but not unhappy enough to stop having unprotected coupling and making babies with them when they had no kids, so could have had a clean break to start with. Happened to my uncle. Towards the end of their divorce, my aunt got pregnant with their 3rd kid. What's worse is that the age difference between him and the middle child was 11 years. My poor cousins are doing their best to abide by their mother's rules for the safety of their youngest sibling and are ready to pull him out from under her care once he's of age. For context, she feeds my youngest cousin 1 box of pizza a week, always naps, prevents socializing because she doesn't believe in having friends, leaves the house unclean for years, constantly yells at her children, isolates them from family, prevented the oldest from attending our grandmother's funeral because she wanted to take her out someplace else to grieve but changed plans to go out drinking with friends, and so on. 3 lives completely altered outside of their control because my uncle couldn't resist one of the worst kinds of people to become a mother one last time. I can never forget the heat he got from the rest of our family, including my cousins, when it happened. This idiot banging her janitor and dealer for scores when she could have just grown her own mushrooms at home. Shaking my damn head. Pro tip, folks: the couples that trip together stay together. Lol. Okay, seriously though, that's just my take, but I will say I knew from the second I read the title that she was cheating. I honestly didn't see that coming. I may need more coffee. I didn't see it coming that she desperately wanted to stay in the relationship. I fully expected her to be a bit sad, but ultimately relieved because it sounds like she's reliving her late teens, early 20s when she was just a loser, and that they had just developed in different directions and aren't compatible anymore. To me, it sounded like her expectations and life goals were shifting to something else. I'm surprised that she apparently still wanted to settle with him and live the standard ring house baby by 30 life. I'm not necessarily surprised by her cheating, I just kind of expected something like her not having the guts to end the relationship because of the sunk cost fallacy, but welcoming it if he ended it. To be honest, he gives me "I was one of the cool guys, my girlfriend is so lucky someone like me dates her" vibes. It's a weird story.